Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jen and this is Flosstube number 5. This is a channel where I talk about cross stitch and also some knitting, maybe diamond painting someday if I ever start working on those again. Today I have 2 finishes to share with you, 5 or 6 whips, 1 new start, a little bit of knitting, and some haul and plans for March. So get comfy and let's jump in. The first finish that I had this month was a start and finish in February. Just kidding, I started this a couple days early. I cheated and started at the end of January. I think I started at January 27th. And this is Valentine Rose by Blackbird Designs. This is the second pattern in Anniversaries of the Heart. And here it is. So I used all of the called for overdyed threads for this, with the exception of the background of the door. I used the called for DMC. So I talked about this when I finished Snow Garden, which was the first pattern in this series, that I don't know if the dye lots have changed since it's been a while since these patterns came out or what, but my colors they don't look the same as the picture. For example, the color used for the outside border and the background of the door is different than the color that is used for this bird, but in mine they look the same. So this S on the door would have just like completely blended in if I didn't use the DMC. So yeah, on the pattern it's more of a like sagey cool green, and then mine is like a yellowy green. But whatever, I just adjusted the only part where it mattered. And I haven't put in a name or a date. I might add something later, but I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so I just left it blank for now. And then I did want to show my finish of Snow Garden, just to compare the two. So Snow Garden was stitched on a 32 count, and Valentine Rose is on a 30 count. So this one is a little bit smaller, you can tell. And the color is different. I mean, the fabric is similar. I think this one is R&R. I don't know what color. I think it's a called for color. And I'm not sure what this fabric is. I think this was just a mystery linen that I had in my stash. So if I continue these, I will just try to find a 30 or 32 count. I'm not sure how I'm going to fully finish them yet. Speaking of continuing these, this is the third pattern in the series. It's called A Wish for You. It says a wish for good health, good luck, and happiness. And it's got like the clover border for March. And a little rabbit. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to start this one in March. It's just not really calling to me right now, and I have a lot of other plans coming up, and I don't have a fabric picked out for this yet. So this is like a maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, my other finish for this month was something that I started in May. I think in the beginning of May 2023, I thought I was going to try to do something for Mania, and then my plans changed. I think I ended up starting one pattern every week. This one I started in May, and now it is done. So I pulled this out. This was a whip go call for February, and my goal was to complete it, and I did. I think it took me 6 days. So, is that right? No, it was more than that. It was maybe 8 days. When I pulled it out, all that I had done was this foxglove, and I had backstitched the word foxglove, but that's it. So when I started working on it, I was working on like one plant at a time and doing like a chunk of the border. And then last week I pulled it out and just finished the border and started putting the plants in. The backstitch didn't take very long. I used all of the called for DMC colors for this. This is on a 32 count chalkboard linen. The only thing that I did different than the pattern was the pattern called for 2 strands for the labels for the plants for the backstitch, and I thought it was really hard to read with 2, so I did it with 1. And I asked my 11-year-old if he could read the words, and he could read most of them, so I figure that's pretty good. And I was looking through my stash of mostly thrifted picture frames, and I happened to find one that I think is perfect for this. Look at that. It's not straight, but the green almost exactly matches the darker green in the pattern, and it's like the perfect size. So I'm going to attempt to, what is that called? I'm going to attempt to thread this myself. Thread? Is that what it's called? Lace. I'm going to attempt to lace this one myself and get it into this frame, so I will have a fully finished to share with you next time, hopefully. So those are my 2 finishes. Very happy with them both. So, whips. The first one, this was not a whip go call or anything, I just felt like working on it. So I pulled out, I pulled out White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. And then after I started working on it, I looked it up and realized I actually started this in November of 2022. So this could be for Pick a Whip, for Marjorie's prompt, a whip that you started in 2022. And here is where I am. So when I pulled it out, most of the moth that you see here was already done, but the Quaker motif at the bottom and the start of this Quaker motif up here were not. So those are new. And then I did fill in a little bit more of the white in here. Just kind of in between working on these, I would grab some of the white and fill it in. So for this one, I'm using the called for DMCs. This is charted in Needlepoint Silks and DMC. I'm using the DMCs, and this is a 40 count, I don't know what, linen, and I'm stitching with 1 thread over 2 linen threads. I don't usually start in the center, but this one I did. I think I wanted to try to get the moth out of the way since it's so big and it has all that white stitching. But the smaller motifs are really fun, so maybe I'll get to work on this more soon. I do have this on my WhipGo board, but it hasn't been called. I think after that I pulled out Prairie Wind because this is by Carolyn Manning. I will insert a picture of what it looks like. I pulled this out because I just wanted some relaxing, more mindless stitching, and I wanted to get a bunch of stitches in. So I did. Here is my Prairie Wind. So I know I finished another color, but I'm not sure which one it was. Oh, I know. It was this darker purple. It's in the center. It's like these little triangles and then these squares, and then it's dotted around the border too. It's like a darker plum color. So I think that one had a lot of stitches left, so it took me a couple days to finish it. But yeah, I am really loving how this one is looking. This is a great piece to work on when I'm just sort of feeling blah, or I've been working on a bunch of 40 count things that take forever. Because this just zooms. This is on a 14 count Ada. So I can very easily use the sewing method and just zip, zip, zip along with the little blocks of color. I am over 40% done on that now, according to Pattern Keeper. Okay, after that, I have a Tiny Decisions Wheel app, and I decided to make one wheel that has all of my whips that I have not yet worked on this year. So if I'm feeling like I just want something different, I can spin that, and then hopefully by the end of the year, there will be nothing left on it, and I will have stitched on all of my whips at least once. So I spun that one, and I wasn't super thrilled with what I got, but I decided to pull it out anyway. And this is Dark Queen of the Earth by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So if you watched my whip parade, you will know that I had finished the first 7 parts. So I had all of the bottom, I had the dress done, all of like the foliage and the vines, and I had like the big swirly branch thing. But then when the face chart was released, which I think was part 8, I just put it away and stopped working on it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I liked the brown version of face better than the like neon green one. Not neon, the bright green one. But I didn't love the hair and I wasn't sure. So I put it away. So I hadn't worked on this for almost a year. I think I put it away in April of 2023. So I got it out. I don't have this on my WhipGo board, but I had a personal goal that I wrote down on a list of goals to figure out what I was doing with the face and finish this year. So I got it out. I decided what I was going to do is go with the brown face, but skip the hair. Because if you look at the brown face, she's got a bunch of branches coming out of like the whole top of her head. And then there's all this hair on the back, which is just coming straight out of the back of her head, like the most extreme mullet you've ever seen. So I'm just going to skip the hair. So I started and I did the face, and then I was like, oh, I'll just do the arms. And then I did this orb, and then I decided to do this giant flower. And I also started her legs. Or feet, or they're like tree trunk feet. So I did part 7. No, 7 was done. I did part 8, 9, and 10. And I started 11 in 4 days this past week. So let me show you her face up close. I just did her face exactly as charted, and just skipped the hair. And yeah, I like the orb. I wanted to stitch one of the orbs at least because they look cool. So I decided to do the small one as an orb, and the bottom 2 I'm going to do as these flowers, because in my version the orb will eventually open up into a giant flower. So that's just a baby flower up there. Okay, but I'm super happy with her. Doesn't she look good? Can I get the whole thing in here? She is on 14 count Aida. It is I don't know what it is. It's printed Aida, like there's nothing on the back side. It's just on the front side. There's a faint tannish modeling. I don't know if you can't even really see it. It just mixes in with the wrinkles. So yeah, when you have to do partial stitches, you have to pierce the Aida, but I didn't have any problem. And I think her face looks pretty good for being on Aida instead of an even weave or linen. Yeah, I like her. So I was going to try to finish all the cross stitching. I saw Savory Sewing, Elizabeth. She had hers out this month too, and she got all of the cross stitching done, and so all she has left is the back stitching and beads. And I was gonna try to get to that point before I put it away, but I marathoned with this for like 4 days, and I just ran out of steam once I started the legs, which I can show you. So I started with the browns, and then there's also this part. This is gonna connect, and then there's another one of those giant flowers down here, and that's all the stitching that's left before the back stitch and all the beads. So I think I'm going to be able to finish her this year. I'm excited to get to the beads. Okay. All right, and then my last whip was my other whip go call for February, which was Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery, which looks like this if you don't know. I feel like most people have probably seen this. My goal was to work on it for 5 days. So far, I have put 3 in, so I still need 2 more days. I think I've only worked on it once since I showed it to you in my last video. So I finished up, there was like one of these guys was missing. And I finished up like this area, put this bird in, and I started this column. So I am going to work on this for a couple more days. This is stitched 2/2 and a 40 count linen. Nope, one thread of DMC over 2. And I just picked a couple gray colors and a pink. If you want to know what they are, I think I said in my last video, or I can look them up for you if you ask. And I'm not sure what this fabric is. It sort of looks like vintage country mocha, except the pattern is on both sides and it's more pink. It's more pink than it shows up on screen. But yeah, so this is gonna get 2 more days, and then I'm not sure when I'm gonna work on it again, because I've sort of enjoyed working on it during this whip go, but not in a way where I want to keep going right now. So it's gonna go back in the armoire for a while. Okay. So I think all that I have left to show you now is a new start. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. I mentioned in my last video that I was doing the Full Coverage Fanatics event for February, which was called Big Strides, where you're supposed to spend 1 week, I don't remember what the dates were, I think it was the week that ended on the 20th, working on your largest full coverage. My dog might bark. Nope. You're supposed to work for a week on your largest full coverage project just to get some progress. And I was planning on doing that. And I worked on my largest full coverage project for 2 days. And then I put it away because I was just not vibing with it. And I think you might see the reason when I try to show this to you. So this is called Someplace for Me by Jenna something. This is my start. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. You can't really tell. There's some greens and some browns in here. This is just like foresty background. These are the colors that I've used so far. There's just a little bit in there of this like bright green. So it's looking very camo, army, fatigue. And this piece of fabric is so giant. I didn't cut it. I don't know if it's actually, I don't remember if I measured if I actually need this big of a piece of fabric or if I can cut it down. But this is, like I said, my biggest one. I think it has like 370,000 stitches or something like that. So trying to just deal with this amount of fabric is a pain. And I had it all rolled up. I stitch almost everything in hand, including full coverage. So I have like tried rolling up the edges and using my little magnetic cable ties to hold everything out of the way so I can get my hand around to the back. But it's just not very comfortable or pleasant to work on. I do have some big scroll frames. I just don't really like using them. I feel like I have to like bend over it too much and my back starts hurting, and so stitching in hand is more pleasant. However, like this is how I was holding it, and this is like a whole handful of stuff. So I gave up on my focus week for this after 2 days. I think I put in like 150 stitches each day, so there's like 300 more stitches than the last time I showed you this. So I need to figure out how to work on this because I really like the image and I think it's going to be fun. And I am to the point where I'm using those lighter greens, and then there's going to be some of the bright like lights around the main tree. So it will be more interesting soon and less army colors. And like green is my favorite color, but this is just like kind of sad. I didn't like fully kit that one up before I started. I just grabbed the first few colors I needed and got going. So maybe if I actually get out all of the colors that I need, at least for like the first page, it'll be easier to work on, because when I was working on it, every time I got to a new color, I had to like get up and go find it, which is kind of silly. And this is, I started this on February 19th, and this is Nora Corbett, Pisces. She's gorge. I love the colors, lots of beads. And my birthday is March 2nd, which makes me a Pisces. So I was thinking about doing this as a birthday start, but I wanted to do a Mirabilia, a big one, for my birthday. So I started this on the 19th, and this is how far I got. I got all the stitching for her hair, face, and I started in on her shoulder area. Her face obviously still needs back stitch, and all the little empty spots where there are these little crosses are going to be beads. And I thought when I looked at the picture that her eyes were beads, but that's actually just DMC. Just a single stitch of that turquoise color. So pretty. So yeah, that one was really fun. That was just one day. I worked on it the 19th, and then I put it away. So I think this one's going to go really quick, because it's not that big. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to fill in all of her skin. So I'm going to do the rest of her shoulders and her arms and hands. And then I will do her dress and those fish. And then do all the beads. I think there's like 5 different beads. Is that right? I have it right here. Yeah, 5 different beads for this little thing. And there's no specialty threads, just DMC. There's one blend. So yeah. Okay. So that is everything that I have stitched on except knitting. So I'm going to put a real quick knitting segment in right now. Knitting. Okay. First of all, this is a simple raglan sweater that I knit. This is actually the first sweater that I knit for myself. It is called Ink and Brass, and it is by Dani Sunshine, which I did not remember. I had to look it up on Ravelry. But I used a sport weight yarn. I think it's Expression Fiber Arts. So I had a collection of mini skeins. Oh, there, you can see all the colors. So there's the pink, this brownish color, the green, the teal kind of blends in with the gray, and then this purple. I think the mini skein set was called Dried Herbs or something like that. And then this is also from Expression Fiber Arts. I think it's sport weight. And yeah, it's just a simple stockinette raglan. There are some short rows. So can I show you this? Like on the back, that stripe goes all the way around, just to raise the collar up in the back so it's not like sliding back and choking you. Yeah, the cuff is twisted rib. Yeah, it's just a stockinette raglan. Lightweight, I like it. And then this, I think I knit this in 2019. I checked 2019. I don't remember how long it took. Okay, and then this month I have a finished object for knitting, which is my hot water bottle cover. It's done. It is on my hot water bottle. This is a Cascade 220 Heather. I think it is called, it's got a gemstone name, like, I don't know, tourmaline or something like that. I don't remember what it is. But it's really pretty. It's got like grays and lavender and some pink kind of spun in. And this pattern is called Hot Water Bottle Cover by Maker Designs, I think. If you search on Ravelry, you will find it. It is a free pattern. Very simple. However, the shape of the hot water bottle in the pattern was a little bit different than mine. It was like more tapered up to the neck of it. So I changed it a little bit to match the shape of mine. So I started doing the decreases on the corners for the slope, and then it needed to just go flat across. So I did a 3 needle bind off from one side, and then knit across to the end and did a 3 needle bind off back to the other side until I was down to the right number of stitches for this. Oh, I didn't weave in my end. This like ribbed collar, which is just 2 by 2 rib. So yeah, my hot water bottle is now covered in 100% wool instead of whatever the acrylic thing that pilled and got all ratty was. And then the qualifier for Sock Madness, which I talk about in a previous video, is ongoing right now. I think there's about 3.5 days left to get your pair of socks in if you want to compete this year. This is my first sock. This pattern is called Hydra Scales, and the designer is Wyvern Knits. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so you can see what it looks like. So she based this design on like a 3-headed Hydra from mythology. Okay, so here's the front. So there's these 3 cables, and you're doing like helical stripes for most of the sock, and then the 2 outer cables you just like slip stitch every other row. So when you're knitting with the main color, you just slip the contrast color stitches, and then when you're on a row that's the same color, that's when you knit the cable part. And then this one is using vertical stranding, or it can be called intarsia cables. So this color you just add it in when you start, and then it just hangs out in the middle of your sock while you're knitting everything else, and you just pick it up when you need to make the stitches. So that was the fun and interesting new technique for this sock. And then also the toe is not your typical decreases. It's like a shorter toe that has more decreases. Instead of just decreasing on either side of your toe like you normally would, you decrease all the way around. And I think the designer said this looked like a Hydra snout to her, so that's why she wanted to do that. So my first sock is done, and this morning I was working on my second sock, which looks like this currently. This is why we use sock blockers, because the fabric wants to scrunch up when you have things like ribbing and cables. So the leg of the sock is done, the heel is done, and I am almost to where I'm going to start the toe of the second one. So let's see. I have maybe 10 more rows of the stripes, and then the toe, and then I can submit these and hopefully get accepted and be on a team for Sock Madness this year. So just real briefly, Sock Madness is like a speed sock knitting competition that happens on Ravelry. I talk about it a lot in a previous video, so you can go check that out if you would like. However, if you wanted to join this year, you only have 3.5 days left. If you can knit a pair of socks in 3.5 days, go check it out. If you can't, then maybe next year. All right. So next I'm going to talk about some haul. 123 Stitch was having a sale on Cottage Garden samplings charts. I think it was like, I don't know if it was garden themed ones or what the theme was, but I did not have any of the Songbird's Garden series. I was not stitching whatever year these came out. Otherwise I probably would have them. 2018 it looks like. So I picked out my favorite ones and I grabbed them because they were on sale. The ones I picked are number 1, which is Love. Number 8, Courage. Number 11, Dream. I love the colors in this one. And the little pumpkin house. So cute. And I got Gratitude. Well, I guess it's called Heartful of Gratitude. Oh, I didn't say the right name for any of these. I just said the word that was in there. Okay, so I got those. Again, like no plans to start these. I just saw that they were on sale and I was like, what? Yes, please. And then my Fabulous Houses, number 3 came in. I'm sure you've seen this. This is the greenhouse. I have the first 2 kitted up. No plans to start them immediately. This one is so pretty. This one doesn't use any specialty floss, so I might have everything in stash. But yeah, no plans to start it right now. And then the other piece of haul I shared on Instagram already. So if you follow me there, you might have seen this. I already had this pattern. This is Ink Circles Clouds Over Veerland. And I decided to get the Vicky Clayton Silk Pack for this. So here are the 8 colors that are in the chart. So you can see on the greens especially, and this brownish silvery one, that they are variegated. So I think this is going to be really fun. And this is going to be my first time trying these silks, which I'm super excited about, and this might become one of my birthday starts. In my last video, I was talking about how I wanted to choose one Quaker to start on my birthday, and this was not in the running because I didn't have it fully kitted, but now I do. So isn't that cool? That's only 8 colors. It looks like so many more to me. I thought it was going to be a lot more involved to kit this up, but it's just 8 colors. Used strategically in different arrangements to make it look much more complicated. I mean, the variegation helps with that. So yeah, maybe this will be a birthday start. I'm not sure if I'll do the alphabet at the top or not. I think I will though. I kind of like that alphabet. It's very, what do I want to say? Like medieval looking? I like it. Okay. I think that was all of the haul. Nope, I lied. I also got some silks for you. I was in a silk mood, so I got the Vicky Clayton silks, and then I also got these. If you would like to know the numbers for these, let me know. They don't have names, they have numbers that are like PR104 or something. I don't know what these are. If you're interested, let me know and I will look it up. So this one has got like raspberry and coral and yellow. This is nice purpley, like cool tone purpley gray. And then this beautiful green. I do not have any plans yet for what I'm going to do with these. I've kind of got my mind on my Long Dog Leap Day start, which is Froth and Bubble. I showed that in my last video if you want to see. I just got all of the called for overdyed flosses, and I have a sort of cool pale green mottled fabric that I'm going to use. I'm going to do that one over 2 on 40 count. I'm going to start that on the 29th, which is coming up very quickly. And then I do have my birthday on Saturday. So I mentioned before, I think I'm going to do 4 starts because I'm turning 40. I don't think I'm going to do them all on Saturday. I will do them hopefully like throughout the weekend. Or whenever I get to it because it's my birthday month, right? So anytime during March counts. And then I do have my March Quaker, which I plan on starting, not on my birthday, but next month. So I do have fabric for that. I have those flosses. I might change them out. We already talked about the Blackbird Anniversaries of the Heart pattern that I'm not sure if I'm going to start or not. I'm going to start my Long Dog Leap Day on the 29th, which is Thursday. That's only a few days away. I still have 2 days left to put into Reaching Skyward, and then I have my birthday starts. I still have not completely decided which 4 things I would like to start for my 40th birthday. What else? Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Let me check my notes. Oh, WIPGO calls for March are out. The projects that I got, I think the numbers are 10 and 1. The projects that I have on my board for those are Beezy Spring by Cottage Garden Samplings, which I believe I also started in May of last year. I only have a little bit done of the bee. And my goal is to work on that for 5 days. And the other one is Map of Hawk Run Hollow. So I think both of those are on 40 count, using 1 strand over 2. And yeah, I'm going to try to work on them, but with it being my birthday month and all my new starts planned and my leap day start, I'm not sure. It might be the first month this year that I don't hit my goals for WIPGO. Maybe I'll adjust and pick something with easier stitching, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be fine. And then one other thing I wanted to mention that I've been thinking about lately is my chromatic dragon that I've been showing, which is a pain-free crafts full coverage chart. Uh, it is generated by AI, and I did not know that when I purchased it. I think I bought it like the the week that it came out. And I started a stitch along with a group of other people that are obviously all stitching it as well. Um, and like at the beginning of the stitch along, everyone was sharing what they were working on, waiting for their orders to come in for their floss and stuff. And all these other rainbow dragons started popping up, and everyone was sharing them. And I was like, what is going on? Why do these look almost identical? And that was when someone was like, oh, yeah, these are AI. And I was like, ooh, I had already started it. And I just feel kind of icky about it. I keep showing it when I work on it, but I think I might stop showing it. If you want to learn more about this and uh, you don't already have a basic understanding of how AI works, or you're more interested in um, the controversy that is being talked about with AI art, there is a video. So I watch Crafty Gaming Jamie, and she sort of did a little side video about AI recently, and she linked to a video that she had watched that came out um, a while back. I think it was like 9 months ago now. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because the name of the Flosstuber has fallen out of my brain. But it was a fantastic video where she, Darling Bluebell is the name of the Flosstuber. Maybe I will link her video as well if you're interested. So it was her Flosstube number 39, it looks like. And yeah, I think it was 9 months ago. And she actually works in the field of AI. So she did kind of um, a reader's digest. No, I don't know, like a layman's guide to AI art, how it works and why some people have a problem with it. And I really like the way that she broke it down. I am a um, software engineer by trade, so I went to school for computer science. I have not done anything really with AI, but I really like the way that she explained everything. Um, and yeah, I think I kind of agree with both her and Jamie. So I don't think I'm gonna show. I don't think I'm gonna show my dragon anymore. Um, I'm not sure if I'm still gonna work on it. Every time I work on it or talk about it on Instagram or on YouTube now, I just feel sort of uneasy about it. So yeah, I have plenty of other full coverage projects that I can focus on. So maybe I will do that. Um, and kind of see. I mean, Heaven and Earth Designs has been releasing a lot more AI charts lately, and they are trying to be very transparent about it. But just I have the same sort of unease when I see them, and when I see that they are AI, and when you look closely and see some of the strange details, like I think the free chart that's on Heaven and Earth Designs right now, if you zoom in on the eyes, like they look very strange. Like no human artist would make the eyes look like that. So the point being, like if you watch Darling Bluebell, most of the artists on Heaven and Earth Designs, like their artwork has been scraped to train these models. So I could potentially be paying for a chart that was made by AI that was trained by these other artists, and they're not getting any recognition or money for that. Whoever typed the right string of words into Midjourney or whatever is the one that's going to get the money. So let me know what you think about AI art. Like, I've also seen the argument that artists have always sort of been influenced by each other. So, like, during different periods of history, you will see that, like, a lot of different artists have similar subject matter, or the style of art, like, shifts and changes throughout periods where things look similar. So, like, that's always going to happen. But the speed and ease with which Midjourney or DeviantArt or whatever, um, the speed that they can replicate or, you know, slightly change stuff is unsettling. Okay. So I didn't really plan on ending my video on that note. I might cut all this out. I don't know. Um, if I don't, let me know. Let me know what you think about AI art, and specifically AI art in the cross stitch world. I would love to hear other people's thoughts. Um, and yeah, I hope February has been treating you well. Uh, I hope you have an exciting start planned for Leap Day. Maybe not something giant like a long dog, but something. Um, what else do I want to say in closing? I feel like I've just really tanked to the mood with that AI art chat. Um, oh, let's talk about this market. I have been watching Lindy Stitch's series, the Nashville shopping list. She is so hilarious. I I feel like the last episode that I saw that her husband was on with her, I was laughing out loud so many times. My husband was in the other room cooking dinner and he was laughing like from over there. Um, and yeah, I think, you know, scrolling through all the patterns for market on somebody's shopping website where you just get this little thumbnail, I totally would not have appreciated some of the patterns the way that I do, having Stephanie Webb like talk about them and point out the parts of them that she likes. So I thought that was a really great series, and I really appreciated that. I was not planning on shopping from market pre-orders. Usually, in the past I have not done that. I've just waited until everything is out and available, and then I will order it if I really want it. But I think Stephanie got me, so I did place a couple pre-orders from market. I won't talk about what they are, but let me know if you pre-ordered anything, or let me know what you're most excited about from market. Um, we will end on that note. And I will hopefully be back in about 2 weeks. Until then, happy stitching. Take care.